DNS domain name system in application layer. DNS is the host name for IP address translation service. DNS is the distributed database implemented in a hierarchy of name services. It is an application layer protocol for message exchange between clients and servers. Requirements: every host is identified by the IP address, but remembering numbers is very difficult for the people, so the IP address are not static. Therefore, a map is required to change the domain name to the IP address. So DNS is used to convert domain name www.google.com to websites of their numerical IP addresses. Domain: there is various kinds of domains: general domains, country domains, and inverse domains. General domains.com, commercial, edu, education, mil, military, org, organization, non-profit organization, net, similar to commercial. All these are generic organization. Country domains: in, India, US, UK, PK. Inverse domain: if we want to know what is the domain of the website, IP to domain name mapping. So the DNS can provide both mapping. For example, to find the IP address of geek4geeks.org, then we need to type nslookup www.geeks4geeks.org. Organization of domain: it is very difficult to find out the IP address associated to the website because there are millions of websites, and with all these websites we should be able to generate the IP address immediately. There should be not be a lot of delay for happening. Organization of database is very quick and important. DNS record: domain name, IP address, what is the validity, what is the time to live, what all are the information related to domain name. These records are stored in likely structures. Namespace: namespace sets of name possible, flat or hierarchical. The name system maintains the collections of bindings of names to value. Give a name, a resolution mechanism returns the corresponding value. Name server: it is an implementation of resolution mechanism. DNS data name system is equal to name service in internet. Zone is an administrative unit. Domain is subnet. The host requires the DNS name server to resolve the domain name, and the name server returns the IP address corresponding to the domain name to the host so that the host can future connect to the IP address. Hierarchy of name service: root name service. It is connected by the name server that cannot be resolved the name. It contains authoritatively named server. If name mapping is not known, it then gets the mapping and returns the IP address to the host. Top level domain TLD server. It is an impossible for COM or EDU and all the types of country level domains like UK, France, Canada, etc. They have info about the authoritative domain services and known the name and the IP address. Domain name server, host, name server, root name server, name server, name server. The client machine needs to request the local name server, which is root. If not finding the address in the database, send a request to the root name server, which is turned when the root query is at the top level domain TLD and authoritatively named server. The root name server can contain some hosting name to IP address mapping. The top level domain TLD server always know what the authoritative name server is. So finally, the IP address is returned to the local name server, which is return the IP address to the host. So DNS कुछ भी नहीं है. DNS is nothing but converting the name www.geeks.com to 192.11.16.12.0.1.1. Clear?